Hello, I'm Jean Wiebe. We have a lot of materials here that are about the human body, of all of the things in the creation where we can look and find design. This is one place where we can find an unlimited number of things to study, things that are perfect, things that are useful, things that depend on each other, all of the parts of our bodies that work together to give us information and meet our needs. One thing that we're going to talk about first is our eyes. There are all kinds of eyes. Almost all eyes react to light. Animals' eyes vary almost as much as the animals themselves. Insects' eyes are very different than ours. Birds can see color almost as well as we can, but cats probably see only in black and white. Eyes don't just help us to learn, but they tell others about us. The muscles around our eyes make our eyes very expressive. You make your eyes look the way they would if someone offered you a snake to hold. Now, some of you may have looked happy and some of you may not have looked happy. Depends on whether or not you like to hold a snake. Make your eyes look like they would if someone offered you an ice cream cone. Make your eyes look as though someone had just poured cold water over you. You can tell how a person feels. You can tell what our reactions are to many things by looking at our eyes. If someone told you that you had just done an excellent job, how would you look? Great. Let's look at the parts of eyes. First, there's bone around our eyes. Very gently feel the bone area that protects your eyes. And the bottom part is inset a little bit more than the brow. There's bone up here that goes around and protects our eyes. There are eyebrows to filter out dust. There are eyelashes to filter out dust. There are very delicate eyelids that cover and protect our eyes. If you turn to the person next to you and look at that person with their eyes very wide and look at the very front part of their eye, you'll see a little clear saucer-shaped part that covers most of the front of the eye. That is the cornea. Then there is a colored part called the iris. Then there is a black part right in the middle. That's the pupil. But it's not really a black part. It's really a hole. It's covered by that cornea, so it's protected. But light can go in that hole in your eye and it gets focused on the retina. It's like a TV screen at the back of your eye. Let's see how the retina works. Here's a picture in a book on eyes. You and Your Body is the name of the series. And look at this drawing. Look at all the parts. When light gets shined through your pupil and onto this part, the retina at the back of your eyeball, all these little nerves carry messages through here and take them to the brain. And your brain will say, aha, I've seen that before, or aha, that's a new thing, I'll remember that. So information that we see goes through our eyes to the retina and then gets translated all the way back here to the brain. Think about where all of our sense organs are, most of them. We have skin all over our body, so we have the sense of touch all over us. But our eyes, our ears, our noses, and our tongues, and some skin is right around the brain, so information can go very quickly into our brains. Light shines right through there, goes through a lens that turns it upside down. Our image gets put back here onto the retina with light hitting it, our only blind spot is where the optic nerve comes from the back of the eye, and that's what carries messages to our brains. This looks kind of like a camera. This is how people invented cameras. You open the eyelid, and when you have an open lens, the film inside the camera is like a retina, and light can go through that lens. Look out! And you take a picture. Would you look at the black dot in the middle of this blue circle for a few seconds? Keep your eyes on the black dot. Just keep looking at that dot in the middle of that blue circle. In just a few seconds, I'm going to move that circle, and I'm going to put a plain white piece of paper with a black dot in front of it. I want you to keep your eyes on this black dot, and then you be ready to notice what happens when I put the other piece of paper there. You watch what trick your eyes do. Did you see the color that is opposite to blue, kind of an orange? I'll bet you did. There are little rods and cones in your eyes that remember what you were looking at. We've used opposite colors to coordinate our clothing. Here's a color wheel over here, and our eyes work like this color wheel works. This is how the color wheel was invented. I'm going to make a rainbow. I'm going to do it in my direction. I'm going to put watercolors of blue, and I'm going to add yellow, another primary color. I'm going to start, let's start up here. Adding yellow color. If you do this with little water paints, they mix very nicely. Now I'm coming down into the, what's happening? I'm coming into the blue area, and everywhere where I'm mixing yellow with blue, what color is it making? Green. Now I'm going to add some red. And again, the colors mix and change a little bit. And what color do we get? Where we mixed red and yellow, we get orange. There's orange color there, and then red. So we call these primary colors, and where they mix, we have other colors. So we have all the colors of the rainbow by mixing these primary colors. That's fun to do. Every time I do that, mix colors, markers, water paints to make a rainbow, I enjoy doing that all over again. One of the most perfect, satisfying things in the world is to look at a rainbow. I like kaleidoscopes, and my husband has gotten some for us, and he made one. And this one is not exactly a kaleidoscope, but it has a lens here that focuses on one little area of color and makes a kaleidoscope type image. That's always fun to do. This is a kaleidoscope where you can put anything you want to on the tray and move it around and look through the top of the kaleidoscope and see that image. Our brain likes patterns, and maybe that's why kaleidoscopes are so pleasing to us. The place where our eyes are helps us to live the way that we live. Our eyes are on the very front of our faces. And if you'll do this, don't clobber anybody, but put your arms out to the sides as far as you can. Put your arms straight out, and then move them in and see where you can begin to see your hands moving. This is called your peripheral vision. And when your hands come in, this is your line of vision. This is how far you can see. You can't see anything back there, can you? Other animals have different needs. Some things like rabbits, frogs that need to see around them have these big round eyes that are on the sides of their heads. A big predatory bird needs to see straight down to where his prey is. So he has vision, he has eyes that allow his vision to go straight down toward his prey. On the other hand, the prey has eyes on the side of its head so that it can get away. Helps both animals, even though they both need food. But it's neat to see all the different kinds of eyes that different animals have, and they all meet the needs of those particular animals. Some of them can see at night very well. Some of them have a lot of eyes. It's interesting to note how many different kinds of eyes there are. They all are made perfectly for whatever the animal has to do to get its food and be safe. Isn't that neat? All directions at the same time, the little ripples form. Well, when we have a vibration in our voice boxes or from hitting one thing against another, ripples go through the air and they come into our ears. We have these little sound catchers right here, and sound goes in through the hole in our ears and goes into the center of our ears and is caught. You may have tried this at some time to try to catch more sound, or you may have seen somebody put their hands behind their ears to catch more sound, and it goes into the middle of our ears and it hits some little bones that are right here. A little hammer-shaped bone hits another bone, and behind that bone are nerve cells that sense those little vibrations and send messages right on into our brain, which is right behind our ears. And the brain, the first time when we're tiny babies that we hear sounds, we don't know what they are because our brains haven't learned that yet. But as soon as we have learned sounds from babyhood on up, our brain remembers it. And when we hear a certain sound, our brain says, oh, I know what that is. That's the sound of a robin. Or that's my husband. Or that's water flowing. Or tires screeching. We can remember and tell every sound apart. So our ears are another very important sense that is vital to our living as human beings and as animals. Another very important sense is smell. This is a National Geographic magazine that shows how the nose works. It is so neat. This is a very complex system. When we have something like spray perfume going through the air, tiny little particles are sent out and they mix with the air and float across a room and come into our noses. Odor molecules reach nerve cells which extend from the outside environment and go directly into the brain. The brain is right behind where we're smelling. This is a very unique sense. All kinds of good things happen because of this. Some of our glands are made to go to work. Memories come to us because of smells. Our feelings are closely tied to smells. When you walk into the house after school and your mom or dad or grandma or someone has baked something that you really enjoy, chocolate chip cookies, brownies, fried chicken, you smell that and your feelings immediately change, don't they? You're really looking forward to eating. Or if you walk in and smell something that you do not like, you might say, "Ugh, I don't even feel hungry after smelling that." That's because of your smell and your reaction to it. This is something that's unique in our senses. Animals use smell to find food, to find mates, to identify their babies, to navigate, to sense predators. Smell is very, very important. And of course, who has the most famous nose is the elephant. He has an excellent nose that he can use for a whole bunch of different purposes. But all of our noses are very special, very perfect for the way that we live. The human beings and animals of all kinds, insects, birds. And they're very important for our survival and for our enjoyment of life. So see what else you can find out about the way that we smell and the way that we hear. Listen to the sounds that you like, certain kinds of music, songs. See how it feels to close your ears and listen to yourself talk. You can still hear because your voice is still going through inside passages. See what you can do to learn more about your ears and your nose, our very special senses. We can look around us with our eyes. We can look around us and see so many things and know that there was design, that there was planning, that there is perfection. And remember that when God made us, He planned for our bodies to work this way. He planned each thing in creation, and then He said it was good. That means that God made it all perfect.